Bakenville, keeping the South African flag flying high. Now, right now though, you know what? At times, adults and us parents don't exactly know the best way to start difficult conversations with our children about challenging topics. Now, designer Mathilde de Blois has come up with a tool called the Nino Collection, which is a collection of various toys and devices created for young children to empower parents who don't know the best way to start a conversation about difficult topics like loss, divorce, or even abuse. Now, the Nino Collection is a friendly icebreaker to help families grow together, and we have the founder and creator of this very creative book series, Mathilde, with us this morning in studio. Mathilde, very nice. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And I think this is so important, I think the work that you do and the fact that you started this, because when it comes specifically things like abuse to children, they don't know how to convey that to their parents, or the parents don't know how to approach that. Now, firstly, the Nino Collection, where did it all come about? Because it looks like you've got lots of fun little things here.
Yes, so I started this project about 3 years ago when I met some parents who had difficulties to tell their child that an uncle had died. I quickly realized that it was a very common situation, and I knew it was possible to make things happen properly because when my mother died, my father made it easy for us to express and communicate, so we went through it as well as possible. And this is why I created the Nino Collection to help to support children and strengthen family to as they navigate through the challenges of life. So all the projects in the Nino Collection are organized around the story of Nino, a little green dinosaur who goes through difficulties.
This is this little one over here, obviously.
Yes, this one.
Yeah.
So the first project in the collection is Nino's Morning Toolbox.
Yes.
And it's around the story of Nino when his sister Annie dies. Yeah. And we see how, thanks to discussions with his family and activities they play together, they are able to overcome their great sorrow.
Yeah. So in terms of the actual story, how does it work? Because like you mentioned, dealing with loss, especially for a young child, especially when it comes to a loved one, is very, very difficult. So how does the book approach it?
Well, the thing is, the most difficult thing about dealing with loss, for example, is that you need to be able to express your feelings and understand the events. And so if the child is able to reflect on what is going on around him, he would be more able to overcome his sorrow. Yeah. So the book, for example, so this one is in Xhosa. I'm going to find the one.
So it's translated to different languages as well, which is fantastic.
So the book works like that. Should I show it like this? Yes. So we see how he goes to the funerals and how he goes through the different stages of bereavement, which is denial and then from the denial to acceptance through anger.
And in turn, this will help parents kind of deal as well, you know, to know what the child is going through. I want to ask you this. It's been made available to children's homes and centres as well. You know, to coping with all different things. We talk about loss, we talk about, you know, death, abuse, all of that. How can parents get hold of this? And I think also mostly, you know, children in underprivileged areas as well. What is the plan in terms of, you know, getting the Nino Collection to them?
Yes, so you can either contact us for the moment or get the book on some online shops. Okay. But also we want to develop a puppet show that will go from school to school or hospitals or daycare centers to help the children who don't have access to this have it.
Yeah, for sure. I fully understand, and it's great. I think the puppet shows are great because I think children will respond to that, and by telling the story like you do, they will be able to deal with whatever difficult emotion or difficult circumstance they go through. Yes. Mathilde, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I think this is absolutely fantastic. If you want to know more about the Nino Collection, we will put all of those details on our website, expressoshow.com. Get in touch with us. If you are, you know, battling with the fact of conveying a very difficult message to your child or vice versa, this is a fantastic way to start off and get that conversation going, because there is nothing more important than a conversation between a parent and a child. Now, next up, of course, I mentioned earlier on, it is also Deaf Awareness Week here in South Africa, or month, and we are raising awareness for our deaf citizens here in South Africa.